Neither I nor anyone else is able to completely traverse the great Nectarean ocean of the glories of Sri Vrindavan Dham and reach to the further shore. However, because I greatly love this Vrindavan, I shall now dive a little into that ocean as far as my small powers permit. I pray that this endeavor may become successful and bring an auspicious result. O Sri Vrindavan, please manifest your wonderful transcendental form within my heart. Your form is full of the most confidential spiritual knowledge and bliss. The impersonal Brahman effulgence is embarrassed to describe it, and the Upanishads, who simply speak in negative terms, saying, not this, also decline to describe your transcendental secrets. Filled with the great sweetness of the transcendental pastimes of Sri Sri Radha and Krishna, Vrindavan has become very wonderful and astonishing, and it contains the topmost limit of the most exalted and relishable mellows of pure devotional service to Lord Hari. Great inundation of Vrindavan's transcendental attributes cannot be measured even by Ananta Shesha, Shiva, and all the demigods, who remain unable to cross to its farther shore. Let me glorify that Vrindavan at every moment. Think of Vrindavan with love. Roll in the dust of Vrindavan. Offer your entire body to the service of Vrindavan, and thus develop firm love for Vrindavan. Worship the birthplace of Srimati Radharani and satisfy the moving and non-moving living entities who reside in Vrindavan. If the Vedanta does not directly describe Vrindavan, why should that matter to me? If the faulty logicians who are like serpents living the Vedic literatures ignore Vrindavan, why should I care? If even the devotees of the Lord do not understand the glories of Vrindavan, how does that affect me? Even if, by staying in Vrindavan, my body and mind were greatly distressed, as if pierced by thousands of thunderbolts, I would not leave Vrindavan. Vrindavan reverberates with both the sounds of the cuckoos singing the fifth note and the sweet music of Krishna's flute. Vrindavan reverberates with both the sounds of the cuckoos singing the fifth note and the sweet music of Krishna's flute. There are many blossoming creepers and trees whose branches are the residences for singing and dancing peacocks. Vrindavan is inhabited by many colorful birds and many wonderful varieties of deer and other animals. It is filled with many various excellent lakes, streams and hills, such as Govardhan Hill. Let me meditate on this land of Vrindavan. Manifesting the wonderful inundation of their mutual love and also revealing their great expertise and the beauty of their transcendental forms, Sri Sri Radha Krishna, who are like the dancing arena for the eternally victorious and maddening Cupid, perform pastimes in this land of Vrindavan, accompanied by their many gopi associates. Srila Vrindavan Dham is perfect in all respects, and those who claim that there are defects in Vrindavan are blind fools who have become the laughing stock for everyone. O Lord Hari, I simply pray unto you that on my deathbed I shall not have the misfortune to beholding any of them. After attaining the platform of Brahman happiness by performing severe austerities, the personified Upanishads worship the personality of Godhead without any reservation, and thus obtained his mercy. By the mercy of the Lord, they were able to become Surabhi cows in the land of Braj and enjoy the direct association of Sri Krishna. And by constantly grazing on the grass of Vrindavan, they become filled with the nectarian taste of the topmost mellows of pure devotional love for the lotus feet of Sri Sri Radha Krishna. If someone relates to me the faults of one of the moving or non-moving residents of Vrindavan, then how is his action different from cutting me with many sharpened swords, arrows and javelins and other weapons? The residents of Vrindavan are all as dear to the personality of Godhead as his own life. If one is a little bit inimical to even a single blade of grass in Vrindavan, then who will be able to rescue him from the horrible hell which awaits him? When will that rescue occur? May my eyes become overwhelmed with ecstasy by seeing the nectarian waves of Vrindavan's beauty. May my intelligence drown in the nectarian ocean of Vrindavan's glories. May my body become agitated by the swiftly moving currents of ecstatic bliss and thus roll about on the ground of Vrindavan. Falling down like a stick, may I offer my respectful obeisances to all the residents of Vrindavan. May the land of Srila Vrindavan, where Subal and the other wonderful cowherd boys, who are all dear friends of Sri Krishna, play, where Lolita and the other splendidly beautiful youthful gopis, who are all filled with love for Srimati Radharani, enjoy transcendental bliss, and where Sri Sri Radha Krishna are attached to performing their jubilant conjugal pastimes, become manifest in my heart. The freely flowing streams of Vrindavan are filled with clear water, which is as sweet as nectar, and the leaves which fall from the trees of Vrindavan are foodstuffs as palatable as one could desire. The warm breezes of Vrindavan are just as one would have them, and Vrindavan is filled with clean mountain caves and other suitable residences. Alas, alas, how unfortunate I would be if I wished to abandon this auspicious land of Vrindavan. This land of Vrindavan is like the incomparable essence of the ocean of pure love for Krishna, or it is like the sweetest island which ornaments that ocean of pure love. The nectar of this land of Vrindavan is relished by the greatest of great sages. I pray that this land of Vrindavan may give me shelter until the moment when I leave this body. In Vrindavan there are thousands and millions of lakes ponds and wells, all filled with water as sweet as transcendental nectar. In Vrindavan there are many gardens, filled with blossoming transcendental flowers and fruits, and there are unlimited wonderful trees and creepers. In Vrindavan there are numberless transcendental deer and other animals who move here and there. Filled with many transcendental groves, the land of Vrindavan is wonderfully beautiful. Let me meditate on this land. Let me meditate on this land of Vrindavan. In Vrindavan there are many groves and forests where Sri Sri Radhika, Madan Mohan performed their transcendental pastimes. There are many trees and creepers, and the earth there is studded with jewels. In Vrindavan there are many birds, deer and other animals who are all maddened with transcendental bliss. Who would not become enchanted by this land of Vrindavan? More beautiful than millions of Ratis and Kamadevas, two transcendental persons who appear as splendid as sapphires and gold, have inundated Vrindavan with a great flood of transcendental sweetness by performing their extremely wonderful conjugal pastimes. This flood I have seen with my own eyes. The materialists who are strongly attached to the objects of sense gratification. The ascetics who are so renounced that they cannot tolerate even a glimpse of sense happiness. The earnestly endeavoring yogis. The impersonalists whose minds have become merged in Brahman happiness. And the devotees whose minds have entered within the lotus flower, which is Lord Govinda's feet, are all enchanted by the transcendental qualities of Sri Vrindavan. If one studies the Upanishads for a long time, he will not obtain even an atomic particle of transcendental sweetness as a result of his study. On the other hand, simply by residing in Vrindavan, one will become quickly drowned in the great ocean of transcendental nectar. May that supreme abode of Sri Vrindavan become manifested within my heart. When, patiently tolerating hundreds of kicks, millions of insults, and the constant onslaught of hunger, thirst, cold, heat, and hundreds of other sufferings, penniless, agitated, shedding a great shower of tears, and calling out the names of Sri Sri Radha Krishna in a piteous voice. When will I wander in this land of Vrindavan? Today or tomorrow, this worthless material body will leave me, and I will lose all the material happiness connected with it. Because this material happiness is temporary, it should be understood to be only a mirage of the real happiness. Oh, my mind! Please abandon this false happiness and enjoy the real, eternal happiness of devotional service within the land of Vrindavan. How important are the most powerful earthly kings for us? How important are all the demigods and sages? How important are countless material opulences which come and go like the scenery in a dream? How important are even the liberated devotees who reside in the spiritual realm of Vaikuntha, for those of us who have made residing in Vrindavan our only goal of life. Only 2 or 3 exalted souls can properly appreciate or worship this land of Vrindavan, which grants all auspiciousness and complete transcendental bliss to all who reside within her boundaries. I, who am spiritually blind, pray that Sri Vrindavan may become my mother and protect me. In Vrindavan, on the cool shore of the Yamuna, at the base of a kadamba tree, an indescribable dark-complexioned divine youth, who is dressed in yellow garments and appears to be Cupid himself, plays his flute and glances at the lotus-like face of Srimati Radharani. I pray that I may develop spontaneous devotional love for that sacred land of Vrindavan. What is the use of royal pleasures? What is the use of perfecting the yoga system and traveling to the upper planets? What is the use of the great variety of material endeavors to attain useless ends? These things are insignificant in comparison to residence in Vrindavan. Simply by living in Vrindavan, I shall one day be able to hear the sweet sound of Sri Krishna's flute, which brings the hearer the best of all kinds of transcendental bliss. My body may be decorated with the garments and ornaments of bodily beauty, or it may be wrecked with terrible disease. I may be praised or defamed with millions of words. I may become the master of all wealth, or I may be reduced to abject poverty. I may be free from all suffering, or I may be almost dead with pain. Whatever my condition, I shall always take shelter of the transcendental land of Sri Vrindavan, the source of all bliss. O friend, you may experience either happiness or distress. You may know fame or infamy. The lowest persons may insult you, or the saintly devotees praise you. You may know poverty or great wealth. You may obtain all valuable things, or you may not obtain anything. Whatever position your past pious or impious deeds may place you in, just make the holy land of Vrindavan your life and soul. O friend, flee from the witch of female companionship and uproot all desires for material enjoyment. Accept whatever destiny provides for your bodily maintenance and just reside in the holy land of Vrindavan. Oh friend, please don't engage in material activities. Don't speak about material topics. And don't remember what you have seen of material life. Instead, please always remember the pastimes of the glorious couple Sri Sri Radha Krishna, whose complexions are golden and bluish, and who defeat the power of Cupid, causing him great pain. Please, free from the company of materialists, reside in the transcendental land of Sri Vrindavan. Someone who abandons the association of materialists and the assistance of servants and followers and remains in the land of Vrindavan, and who is greatly agitated with the desire to serve Sri Sri Radha Krishna, constantly sheds tears, is the most fortunate of all persons. If you desire to enjoy the possession of material wealth, beautiful wife, good children, a palatial home, and various other material opulences, you should know that these things are not obtained without a single struggle. On the other hand, if you desire to attain Krishna Bhakti, which carries liberation from material existence in the palm of her hand, then simply reside in the transcendental abode of Vrindavan and your desire will be easily fulfilled. Even by writing millions of books, the greatest poets and philosophers cannot imagine even a tiny fraction of the splendor emanating from the host of jewels, which is the transcendental qualities of Vrindavan. Oh friend, please control your mind and senses and go to this land of Vrindavan, which is like a jewel mine of the mellows of devotional service. All glories to Sri Vrindavan. A single particle of Vrindavan's glory cannot be understood even by Lakshmi, Shiva, Brahma, and all the leaders of the demigods. A single particle of Vrindavan's glory makes numberless Kamadhenu cows, Kalpavriksha trees, and Chintamani gems appear insignificant. The great splendor of Sri Vrindavan eclipses the shining of millions of suns, moons, fires, and lighting flashes. If the glory of Vrindavan shines even once within the heart, then the aspiration for material wealth or happiness cannot enter there. The forest of Vrindavan is very beautiful because Sri Sri Radhika Murli Mohan performed their transcendental pastimes within her groves. Vrindavan is full of all blissful, wonderful, spiritual qualities, and it has produced a great milk ocean of the mellows of devotional service. I pray that Vrindavan may destroy all my sins. Vrindavan is the most purifying of all purifying things, and it is inhabited by the most exalted moving and non-moving living entities. It is a great treasure house full of the mellows of pure devotional service for Sri Radhika Raman. When, filled with eternal transcendental bliss, will I reside in that land of Vrindavan. Sri Krishna, whose heart is supremely splendid and magnanimous, eternally resides in the supremely purifying, glorious and limitless land of Vrindavan, capital city of the most exalted and wonderful mellows of pure love of God. The glorious land of Vrindavan bathes its moving and non-moving residents in the ocean of transcendental bliss. Those who engage in Sri Krishna's devotional service and remain in Vrindavan until the time of their death are the greatest of Vaishnavas. Vrindavan is filled with a host of pure spiritual virtues and is glorified by the most exalted sages and philosophers. I pray that Vrindavan, with her wonderful power and mercy, may turn even the lowest animal-like person, such as myself, into the servants of her lotus feet. Oh friend, just observe this beautiful land of Vrindavan. Vrindavan is filled with many blissful groves, where there are trees millions of times more opulent than kalpa-vriksha trees. In Vrindavan there are many parrots and other birds who appear to be intoxicated by singing the Vedic hymns glorifying Sri Krishna. In Vrindavan there are many deers who take pleasure in the association of Sri Krishna. In Vrindavan there are splendid transcendental lakes, ponds and streams filled with water as sweet as nectar. In Vrindavan there are mountains composed of valuable jewels. Oh friend, what is this? Is this the accumulated amazing opulence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Is this the nectar churned from the shoreless Nectarean ocean of transcendental bliss? Is this the origin of countless forests of transcendental kalpa-vriksha trees? Perhaps this is the forest of Vrindavan, which is filled with wonderful ecstatic love of Krishna. Is that what this is? Where do all people automatically and effortlessly obtain pure undeviating ecstatic love for Krishna? Where does the Supreme Personality of Godhead manifest His supremely wonderful transcendental form for performing pastimes? Where is the greatest sovereignty of the transcendental bliss of devotional service to Sri Krishna's lotus feet manifest? Oh brother, listen, and I shall speak to you something very confidential. All these things are present in this land of Vrindavan, of Sri Vrindavan, of Sri Vrindavan, of Sri Vrindavan.